to the 9/11 War Room, a weekly roundtable discussion that takes place every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in at 911warroom.com.
Welcome to the 9/11 War Room. My name is Gene.
My name is Sandra. Today is Sunday, February 22nd, and it's episode 223.
There is no national news that I could find. When we get around going around the table, maybe you guys are aware of some. Let's just hop into what I had found.
You know what I think happened? I think that the whole Epstein thing and the 9/11 connections that have been popping out have just obscured anything else. It's probably out there. We're just not seeing it.
So yes, we're going to talk about the Epstein files, how they relate to 9/11 only. But there's some interesting things there still to be found. And Susie Bonham-Craig will be joining us because she also found some things about Howard Lutnick, our person of interest. So let's get into it. If I'm sharing my screen properly, I think I am.
You are.
I'm just going to do a brief overview, and then I'm going to go to the individual pages to further explain it. So this is kind of the quick of what I'm getting at to share with you guys. There was a document that was sent that I have referenced in the past couple of war rooms that it has this statement, quote, "If there is a grand jury on 9/11 and Epstein, then Berman knows they connect." There's a whole lot of questions from that and about this email that was sent through several people. And what I have found, we're not sure whether they're talking about Richard Berman, Judge Richard Berman, which we'll get to, or Geoffrey Berman. Some of you may remember. Judge Richard Berman is actively assigned to and managing the Jeffrey Epstein criminal case in July 2019. In this email, there are some dates from several emails within it. February 5th, 2020, an email sent containing the statement, "If there is," what I just said, "a grand jury on 9/11 and Epstein, then Berman knows they connect." February 6th, the next day at 7:14 a.m., someone forwards the email to someone at the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York's Southern District. February 6th, a couple hours later, the recipient forwards the email to 3 people saying, "I'm passing this on." One of the 3 recipients then confirms receiving it. And the next day, the motion to dismiss the 9/11 grand jury petition from the Lawyers Committee was filed on behalf of Bill Barr, Geoffrey Berman, and the Department of Justice. So let's take a look at this just a little bit more closely. To make it easy for everybody, I color-coded it. So there was this first email that was sent that contained that statement, and there's a lot of, talking to Jane Clark from the Lawyers Committee, a lot of whataboutism in that. Some people might say it's just a lot of just tangential pieces of information. We don't know what to do with it. I'm glad that Susie's finally joining. So we don't know what to make of this. Some of this may just be loose, unrelated information. We're not sure what to say of it. But what's interesting about that is that this person responded to this lady, we'll call her Mrs. Brown, saying yes, and he said all these statements to her. That same person read, then takes the same email that he sent to her and sent it to person Green. Person Green at the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York Southern District then forwards that email to 3 different people, person Yellow, person Pink, and person Blue. Person Pink replies back to the person Green at the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York Southern District and says, "Received, thank you." So what's interesting about this, some people might say, well, this is just a lot of loose, worthless information. I would buy that, but somebody at the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York felt it was so important that they wanted to pass it on to 3 other people. So let's take a look further into this. The first question, this Berman, who are they talking about when they mention then Berman, if there is a grand jury on 9/11 and Epstein, then Berman knows they connect. There's 2 Bermans. There's Geoffrey Berman that some of us may remember from the Lawyers Committee's petition. This is a copy of the confirmation letter from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York back in 2018 when the Lawyers Committee submitted the 60 exhibits for the controlled demolition of 1, 2, and 7. In that confirmation letter, They said, we will comply with the provisions of 18 USC 3332 as they relate to your submissions, the submissions being the 60 exhibits. 18 USC 332 states that they will give the information to a grand jury. So he's basically saying in this letter, Geoffrey Berman, very truly yours, Geoffrey Berman, saying, I will present these 60 exhibits to a grand jury. Jane has further clarified for me that we don't have anything back saying that that grand jury didn't take place because they don't have to tell us that it took place. So we're not sure. It could have taken place. It could be taking place right now, but...
Or maybe it never happened.
Or it maybe never happened. Yes, thank you. So that's this Geoffrey Berman of the one of two possible Geoffrey Bermans. The second possible Geoffrey Berman is this Richard Berman, Judge Richard Berman, which is now the judge that was in charge of the Epstein case. Some other just oddities. He was a regular, just part of the Southern District of New York. September 11th, bless you. He was appointed by Bill Clinton in 1998 to 2011 to be a judge at the district court for the Southern District of New York. It's interesting that on September 11th, 2011, he assumed senior judge for that district court, and he was the senior judge, which was then assigned, as we can see here in this case from one of the Epstein documents, on July 8th, 2019, he was assigned to the Jeffrey Epstein case, Judge Richard Berman. So, back to the document. This could be Geoffrey Berman or this could be Judge Berman. But one of those two Bermans knows that if there is a grand jury on 9/11 and Epstein, that guy knows they connect. That's so significant. He knows they connect. So all this, what we were talking about with Ian Carroll alluding to the fact that, hey, Epstein and his blackmail, this was all in his heyday. 9/11 might have been why people weren't talking. They had a lot of blackmail and a lot of people. Makes you question the whole George Bush painting with the paper airplanes and Jenga. A whole lot of people. There are a whole lot of questions on who didn't talk and why they didn't talk. Oh, let's see. Where else did I want to go from there? If anybody was curious, they see that USANYS, because in this letter, USANYS, right here, this person had said, I'm passing this on to somebody at USANYS. Well, USANYS stands for the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. I guess you could read it as United States Attorney, New York, Southern, if you want to help try to remember it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to mention this, but Gene, in trying to determine who were the recipients or the senders, he jumped through hoops trying to find the font, because there's different fonts in this email, and he tried to overlay the names. I don't know if you were going to go there.
No, but thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, he was going to overlay the names over the spaces that were redacted to see which ones fit where.
So anybody that was in the office for the U.S. Attorney's Office, Southern District, at that time, Geoffrey Berman, Andrew Rohrbaugh, Maureen Comey, Audrey Strauss, Laura Pomerantz, Alex Rossmiller, Alexander Hogan, which Alexander Hogan was the one that responded. Oh, I didn't get to the last part here. We'll get to that in a second. And Bill Barr.
And thank you to Susie for sending the list of who was...
Yes, because I was originally putting first name, last name, but Susie pointed out, and this was a great tip from Susie, that in another document that you can find, they actually show its last name, comma, first name, which then gives a little bit of more space because you got a comma in there. But still, putting it last name, first name, nothing really fit. The closest one that could fit to any part was William Barr, maybe, and I have like a very low probability because there's a little bit too much space after from and to. He could be the person that originally had the email, but I'm not sure. Nothing fits perfectly. So if anybody has any tips on any other possible email addresses, I'll try to fit them in there, because I found that it's the Calibri font at 11 point with -7 kerning, and you could see I had overlaid the subject line here and it fit perfectly. So then I just took their email addresses and tried to plop them, see if they fit anywhere, and I couldn't find anything. So
And even if they did fit,
It's
you know,
still
it's still,
speculative.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not something that would stand up in court, but
Mhm.
would give us something to work with.
And the last thing that I was sharing there was the next day after this, the last date here, received. Thank you. So you see the dates, February 6th, February 6th, February 6th. The next day, what happens? Where'd it go? February 7th. Dear Judge Gardeffi, I write on behalf of defendants Bill Barr, Geoffrey Berman, and the United States Department of Justice to dismiss the plaintiff's complaint. What's the plaintiff's complaint? The plaintiffs, so the Lawyers Committee for Nonviolent Inquiry and Richard Gage, specifically, quote, the extensive scientific and eyewitness evidence that explosives were used to destroy the 3 WTC buildings on 9/11. So the timing there, February 7th, 2020. After emails go, February 5th, February 6th, February 7th, I'm passing this on, received, thank you. And again, this is all around the phrase, if there is a grand jury on 9/11/01 and Epstein, then Berman knows they connect. So it still begs the question, who is this Berman, Richard or Geoffrey?
Yeah. And just so we're clear, the timing of that could be complete coincidence.
Could be.
And I would almost say more likely so, not necessarily. I mean, it's a lot to hang your hat on.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to check these things. You never know.
Mm-hmm. And thanks to Ted, the Khashoggi referenced in these, in the subject line, is probably Adnan Khashoggi, not Jamal Khashoggi. Although Jamal Khashoggi has his own interesting tie in all of this because he was working and talking with the 9/11 victims' families before he got bonesawed over wherever that was. So that is that news story. Whew. To tail end that, which there's still many stories about Epstein and 9/11 files, Richard put out an article called 9/11 and Epstein, a call for research into suspicious links. He covered some of the things that we did, but then found some other ones. Just mention them in brief. One, the Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell discussed a shadow 9/11 commission in 2003. The big question there is, why is anybody asking her at all to be part of any 9/11 commission, whether it's legitimate or just, you know, collecting information? Why would go to her? It's like you phone a friend, that just really strange phone a friend there. Two, 9/11 Commissioner member Bob Kerrey met with Epstein many times. That's interesting. There was a clip with Jeremy Roth Kushel that we shared, I think, in the last War Room, where he grilled Bob Kerrey on that. Three, Jeffrey Epstein was an online student of 9/11 Commission Director Philip Zelikow. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Four, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani planned to meet Epstein at his house in 2010. It looks like that meeting never did happen, but it's still interesting that Giuliani wanted to meet with Epstein. And five, Howard Lutnick, current Secretary of Commerce, oversees NIST, and former CEO World Trade Center North Tower tenant Cantor Fitzgerald, had a much closer relationship with Jeffrey Epstein than he let on. And we're going to talk about him a little bit more with Susie and something else I have coming up here shortly. And six, the ex-girlfriend of Prince Andrew claimed that Epstein knew about 9/11 in advance, and she deleted her Instagram post that said that, but people remembered her saying it and caught the quote. So very interesting. Check that out at Richard's Substack at richardgage911.substack.com. Richard, I don't know if you wanted to add anything more to that.
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next, 9/11 Justice also put out a small article. They haven't had anything put out in like a month. Sandra wrote. I don't know if I could. Yeah,
I think it's okay.
yeah. Sandra had put this out. It's just a small little blurb saying that 9/11 Epstein files and 9/11 initial takes from Jason Bermas, Madhava Setty, RG 9/11, Richard Gage 9/11, and 9/11 War Room. Just that we're all talking about it. And a lot of things there, including Jason Bermas being on Redacted with Clayton and Natalie Morris. If you haven't seen that, it's pretty good. Got to hand it up to Jason Bermas. He just He's got that confidence in speaking, and I don't think he breathed.
He just knows a lot.
He just, I think he breathed like twice, took an inhale, took a breath like twice, but he spit it all out. A lot of information I didn't know, in addition to what we just covered there, on top of that. So check that out. That's at ic911.org's page. Again, all these things we're covering, I'll put in the show notes, and it'll be in the description at the end. We covered this thanks to Benjamin Biskiner. If he's in here, I do not see him, but he shared this from a Reddit file, and it went viral, talking about gaps in a lot of missing files and financial ledger lines in the financial ledgers right around 2001. So between 1999 and 2001, there is a density of references. I can't speak too well on this. It gets a little bit over my head, but the synopsis is that there's some files missing around 9/11. And Dr. Chris Martenson, we've talked about, covered it, and it's really interesting to see that Bret Weinstein quoting Chris Martenson about it. So this made its round and went viral all over the internet. You can kind of see 739,000 views from just Bret Weinstein talking about it. So there's this new revival of talking about 9/11 if nobody's noticed on social media. Just fantastic.
And not only that, but there's a lot of podcasters that jumped on the whole Ghislaine Maxwell Shadow Commission story. And we've seen we've seen quite a few posts of people saying, well, I never questioned 9/11, but I do now. And I'm like, really? Again, and you guys have heard me say this so many times. You never know what's going to resonate with someone. Just one little bit of information that makes someone scratch their head and say, well, I'm going to look into it now. And for some reason, this what I consider a very weak link caught the eye of a lot of people. And they're all, I mean, I don't care. Like whatever makes you question 9/11 is good enough for me. It just seems weird that we have all this solid scientific evidence out there, and this is somehow what's got people to reconsider.
Let's continue on. Now I'll bring in Susie about this one. She sent me this. This is another file from the Epstein files, and I'm just going to do a brief overview of what it is. It's about Howard Lutnick, our person of interest. Again, for those that don't know, Howard Lutnick sits right now as the current U.S. Secretary of Commerce, head of the Department of Commerce, which oversees NIST, and NIST is still holding the Building 7 models and data, which they said might jeopardize public safety, so they're not going to release their files. Well, if these files truly did jeopardize public safety, if they were that detrimental to our safety, then when the University of Alaska Fairbanks released the models, something should have happened. No, it didn't. What it did prove is that fire didn't collapse. So that's the reason why they don't want to release the files. And it's really odd that Howard Lutnick, who lost 658 people, including his brother, should be outraged and say, release these files so I can know truly what happened to my brother. But as we're seeing, Howard Lutnick is very, very dirty, including this piece of information. From the Federal Bureau of Investigation, I'm just going to summarize some key points here. A whistleblower called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to report alleged money laundering by Howard Lutnick via BGC Financial and Cantor Fitzgerald, which, for those that don't know, Howard Lutnick was CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald that day. Just happened to miss work because he was taking his son to the first day of school, which we're still trying to find out. The first day of Horace Mann private school in New York City. Chances are it didn't start until after Labor Day, or it started a week earlier after Labor Day, but we still can't find anything solid on that. But anyways, he previously this whistleblower worked for something and Cantor Fitzgerald. He uncovered fraud, money laundering, Ponzi schemes, and regulatory breaches. Again, he's a whistleblower. He linked Howard Lutnick to illegal activities with J.P. Morgan, Russian hedge funds, and other senior executives in the financial business. He says he has proof showing money laundering and Ponzi schemes by Lutnick via offshore shell companies, liquid funding, and real estate brokerage firms.
Now we go to
I'm going to pause real quick, if you don't mind. It is 5:20. That is the time when Building 7 fell, and I just used it as an opportunity for a quick prayer for 9/11 justice. Again, normally I wouldn't pray in public, There's a scripture that says, don't stand at the corners praying, trying to make yourself look all holy. Trust me, I am not holy. I got a lot of problems of things I got to work on, but I just humbly just want to say a quick prayer for justice for 9/11. So if you just join me real quick. Lord, I just come to you right now. I thank you so much for this opportunity to connect with so many people that are interested in 9/11, still pursuing justice. And we don't know where it's all going, but we have hearts truly to see this come to fruition, that we would see justice in some manner. And I just pray that you would continue to bless us, give us wisdom, help us with perseverance through the good and the bad, all the attacks that we get from people, and that we just would continue to keep our heads up and move forward, that we would see justice in our lifetime. In your name, amen. Thanks, everybody. All right, hop back in it real quick. It's hard to shift gears. Get into a frame of mind for prayer and do it quickly and be respectful of everybody that are not of faith. But there, okay, done. Back into it. Again, we just got done saying that this guy found proof, or allegedly has proof, showing that Howard Lutnick was participatory in money laundering, Ponzi schemes, and through offshore shell companies, liquid funding, and real estate brokerage firms. I want to read these two paragraphs because they're pretty devastating. Let me blow this up if anybody wants to read this too. Lutnick is deeply rooted to the royal family and has multiple high-profile and celebrity connections. Lutnick claims to be a philanthropist, but is merely using his charities as smokescreen for his illegal activity. Many of the individuals involved in Lutnick's charities have criminal breaches against them. Blank believes he has supporting documents which could link Lutnick to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell and Sarah Ferguson, Prince Fergie, a royal family member also married to
Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew, thank you, that got arrested and released after 11 hours. Host events called La Dolce Vita parties where high-profile celebrities and executives contribute large donations to attend. The donations are linked to causes involving children. Lutnick made huge donations to these events. Epstein also sold Lutnick a house for $10 through a trust fund, which was then sold for millions shortly after, prior to the money going overseas. Again, that house is this one right here, which oddly enough, this is just coincidence, but it's a really weird coincidence. Lutnick, Epstein sold Lutnick 11 East 71st Street for $10. So they lived at 9 and 11 East 71st Street for, I think, 10 years beside each other. This famous interview with Lutnick saying he went over his wife. They saw a massage table in the dining room, said, want nothing to do with this guy. He's a disgusting person. He's a pig. And this is in 2005. He said that when he moved in. Want nothing to do with him. Never had anything to do with him after that. And then the email comes out showing that he took his teenage kids all to Epstein Island in 2012.
Well, not only that, I mean, first of all, I'm not sure that really talking about this house. They talk about a house, but if it's this,
No, it's this house.
is it this house?
Yeah, I found
Because
another
then if he didn't know Epstein up until that point, why did Epstein sell him the house for $10? I mean, he obviously had to know him well enough to make him some kind of a deal where they can, obviously it didn't cost him $10, but they fudged some stuff there to make it a transaction for $10. So they did know each other. So that was just a lie all around.
And of course, you're finding all this money laundering and stuff going on that really makes it, this is not painting a great picture for Howard Lutnick. And I think he has motive why he did not or does not want to release the Building 7 models through NIST. Again, we'll put this link to this Epstein file in the show notes if anybody wants to check it out. Susie, I don't know if there's any more you wanted to add to that. She's finding her mute button.
Okay, yes. First, I want to preface what I'm going to say with something that happened a couple of weeks ago at work. I think it might have been after the first or second session that I listened to, but I had a gentleman come to the counter. I work for REI Equipment Incorporated. It's a retail co-op. And gentleman came up and buying a bunch of ski equipment, said he was headed up to Aspen to ski, that and we just got into a conversation. He had a friend with him about I don't know how it came up, but he was stating he was an engineer. And I said, oh, what kind of an engineer are you? And he said, I'm a computer engineer. And I said, oh, really? I said, my dad was an electrical engineer. And I told him what my father did. And he said, do you know that I was one of the original 4? I worked for Cantor Fitzgerald. I was one of the original 4 people that got that business back up and running. And the conversation was so quick. I mean, I found out that the guy's name was Shaun, Shaun. And I've been trying to do some further research. Of course, I can't go through databases that work or anything like that. But so this is what really gave me the impetus to get into the whole Letnick situation. And going back to what you were saying before, I also saw consecutive emails from 2011 through 2015 between Ed Epstein and Jeffrey Epstein regarding meetings and stuff like that. So there was a 4 to 5 year period there, 4 years, that Ed Epstein and Jeffrey Epstein had email conversations regarding his books, things of that nature.
Including the Shadow Commission. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, including the yeah. So when I went back and researched further, I found out that they had been communicating over the years. That was nothing like out of the ordinary. That he was in contact and even met with them, because one of the emails says, he's going to be in New York and they're going to meet. I have all that. I can forward on to whoever. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was, what was it?
I have 2 clips that you had sent me via Facebook.
Yeah, that's most recent. If you might want to play, you can play, there's 2 of them. One's from my friend Eric, who I follow on Facebook. The other I just randomly found on Threads or whatever it was. But you can go ahead and play that.
Is it
if you want to play that one? Yeah.
Which one? This one?
That one, that's Eric Mustos, yeah.
All right, here we go.
Well, Lucky Lutnick's back on my radar. It has to do with tariffs and allegedly him and his family making a lot of money behind the scene. And remember, he's the Secretary of Commerce. But before we get into that, do you guys remember how lucky he was on 9/11? How he just happened to not go to work and take his kid to school for the first time ever? While around 700 of his employees died that day. Yeah, he went from millionaire to billionaire with a whole bunch of stock trades. Did you guys know that? I wonder if he knew anything was going to happen that day. And remember, this is the same guy that just got busted for lying, for saying he didn't have a relationship with Epstein, even though he went to have lunch at Pedo Island. And he's all over those files. Anyway, this is being reported.
Reported that Cantor Fitzgerald, which Lutnick chaired until he was appointed to Trump's cabinet, was allowing its traders to purchase the rights to hundreds of millions of dollars of refunds in the event of tariffs were struck down in court. The firm now happens to be headed by Lutnick's sons Kyle and Brandon. So they're making tons of money off of the fact that the tariffs did not go through. That's striking. Go ahead. There you go.
And just a couple of things I wanted to add, and maybe it's not significant either. The exact number of Cantor Fitzgerald employees who died that day was 658. In the World Trade Center, there were officially between 900 and 1,000 employees. So you're talking about 2/3, and I don't know if that's standard for a company to have 2/3. I mean, obviously there's weekend people, maybe there's, people who work remotely, whatnot. I just find it's a pretty high number for 1/3 of the whole company not to be present that day. And maybe those are the people who got the heads up, which makes you wonder how his brother perished, because you'd think he would have been one of them.
On that, this is a conspiracy theory that he may be, for those that believe Epstein's still alive, he may have Epstein.
Yeah.
He may be living somewhere too, and just said, hey, fake my death and I'm going to go live a great life somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many possible to end. And the other thing also is that Howard Lutnick's sister, Elizabeth, I think, that's his wife. Yeah, his sister, was the CEO, president, something or other. of Ghislaine Maxwell's Terramar project.
Yes.
Heavily involved, and that was that aquatic kind of sea project that tied into Epstein Island somehow. I don't know the details of it, but it belonged to them, and Lutnick's sister is the one who ran it. So another strong connection there.
Before I go back to Susie, and then I see Josh and Chuck have their hand up. Before I do that, there was something I forgot to share that Ellie shared about this too, about the put options. Remember about the put options? That the people had somehow got foreknowledge that 9/11 was going to happen, and they bought put options. This is Max Kaiser interviewed investment banker Jim Rickards in 2014. Just going to play the beginning of this. Listen to what he says. Basically, I'll just tell you, and then you'll be able to hear it again, that the people at Cantor Fitzgerald got word that something was going to happen, so they started purchasing put options. The people at Cantor Fitzgerald. I bet you it was the 2/3 of the people didn't show up that day.
The third, yeah.
Here we go.
When I was talking to Cantor Fitzgerald brokers and bankers in the days leading up to 9/11, they themselves were buying these airline puts. They told me, based on rumors that were coming out of Alex Brown associated with Buzzy Krongard. So this looks to me as if CIA insiders knew enough about what was going on, but chose to make money rather than blowing the whistle.
He literally.
How about that? How about that? Susie, I'll go back to you first, and then I'll get the hands.
Yeah, I mean, the other video that I included with that was specifically had Howard Lutnick talking about how he was able to pump up the market for the tariffs, and then get everyone to get on board with that, and then how he shorted the market. So
let's show that real quick. Is it relatively short? I didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, pretty short.
All right,
it's a guy just narrating it, and then he does give the it's only about 2 minutes.
There's also a mask back here. Some people are speculating this is a mask that was found on Epstein Island, that they're saying that was the mask representing Howard Lutnick, but we'll see.
Yeah, in the dental office.
Whoops, where's my sound? Here we go.
Nick needs to go to jail. Not only is he all over the Epstein files, he has now just been exposed for massive insider trading. So today, the Supreme Court struck down Trump's tariffs. But guess what? Howard Lutnick's family firm bought up the rights to tariff refunds for 20 to 30 cents on the dollar last year, meaning they bet against the tariffs being legal, even though he was out there reassuring the public that the Supreme Court would side with Trump.
What do you think? How do you think they're leaning?
Well, I think they're leaning toward the president. So what happened is General Sauer, our Solicitor General, was out first, and the justices were tough. Let's say they were asking them tough questions. But when the other side got up, wow, it was very, very strong. And so I left very upbeat and very positive. And I think these justices are going to come down in favor of the president's powers.
This was just a few days ago, he said this. Now, estimates are saying that the Lutnick family windfall could be into the billions of dollars. I think Andrew Schultz sums it up quite well. He says, quote, "This is the Epstein class playbook 101. Fund both sides of the war and policy. Disgraceful. They have no love or loyalty to America. We are simply a vessel for them to exploit for their own enrichment. If we want Americans to have faith in our institutions, the Epstein class must receive the highest punishment of the law imaginable."
So yeah, that paints a pretty dark picture for Howard Lutnick. Definitely not a friend of the 9/11 justice. Thank you, Susie.
I did want to mention one more thing when you were talking about Howard Lutnick getting the house for $10. There's a string of email. It's not really long, of Geoffrey being notified that Howard Lutnick wanted to buy that location, and Geoffrey responds with, "Tell him I want to buy his house." So it doesn't go further than that at that point that I can see, but just threw that in there.
It looked like Susie also uses this, if anybody's not aware of it, gmail.world. What somebody did is put all the Epstein files up into a Gmail format, and you can search them as if this was your inbox looking through emails. So you just go up to the search and you can start searching the very easily, more easily than you would if you go to justice.gov/Epstein. So keep looking because there's a lot of files up there.
Yeah, you can't possibly go through them all.
And I've been using the Web.io. Another just a small thing to mention. I've been using Ian Carroll's the Web.io app. And oddly enough, when I ask about that phrase about Berman knows, it says that file doesn't exist, which is really odd. Like, okay, this file definitely exists, and even it doesn't find
and just
it.
maybe a quick note about the MP4 files. No images found.
Can I show that real quick? If you guys please allow me to digress just a little bit further. This was
those who do the research, it's good to know.
Yeah, if you're looking in the Epstein files for things, and what was the phrase again?
Image not found?
Image. Does anybody remember this tip?
Yeah, it wasn't image not found. It was no document.
Direct.
No document found, I think.
And
then you have
document.
No, forgive me. One sec, guys.
Maybe we can go to Josh in the meantime. And,
yeah. Go ahead and I'll look for it. Go ahead, Josh.
I posted in the chat, I found a press release from Rudy Giuliani's administration 2001 stating that public schools in New York City started on September 5th and September 6th in 2001. So
but this
Horace Mann is private.
Yeah, it's private, exactly.
Yeah, so they might not have.
I did do a deep dive on that as well. Just to mention that Kyle Lutnick is his oldest son. It's his first child, and that he began school in 2001. So the whole 5-year thing that Trump was touting about for 5 years, not taking him to school, he was never enrolled in the nursery program prior to kindergarten. So, and his last son, I forget his name, Ian, I think, was graduated in 2024. And Howard sat on that board for 15 years for Horace Mann. And I believe I sent you an email, or I may have posted on your page, Gene, about Geoffrey saying, hey, we're at Horace Mann in 2015 at a basketball game. So what I've seen is that all through the files that I've found in the emails is that Lutnick has been, there's a whole timeline of 2011 right through to 2018 where he was involved with Epstein.
All right.
Of emails. So.
And let me go to Chuck too. Thank you. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah. Hey, you had a guest on who worked for a guy who published a magazine in Manhattan who was very friendly to the 9/11 Truth movement. Do you remember who that woman was?
Yeah. That was
Constance? Was it a company? No.
No, her name was Westview News.
Dusty Burke.
Dusty Burke.
There it is.
What was her name?
Dusty Burke.
Dusty Burke.
DUSTYBURKE.
I think it's BER.
I'm
not sure about the
Burke. Okay. Do you remember how long ago that's one of the sessions that you've recorded. So somewhere in the archives is that. I'd like to find that. And just because she was very generous.
That was Boston 9/11 Truth.
That was Boston. You were a guest on Boston 9.
Oh yeah, she was.
She was a guest on our show.
You hosted her, not the War Room.
No, we did. We had her on once too. She joined us.
Yeah.
She just joined as a person, and I misspelled her name. It's BERKE. Yes, you were right.
BER. Well, I'd like to track her down. And she did talk about doing a spread, but she needed help, she said, on 9/11, I think. and possibly giving that magazine another shot, just a single issue maybe. But on the matter of, so actually, Susan, if you could tell me the link to Dusty on the Boston group, I'd really appreciate that. You could put it in the chat.
Sure, will
And
do.
and if you remember, Sandra, which one, I mean, you've done so many. If it's off, if it's close, I'd like to see it on the War Room side. I'll tell you what I'm interested. Oh, I'm not going to tell you what I'm interested in because that's going to go into territory that's uncomfortable. About Lutnick, I think he's the poster boy for calling out the corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And his connection with that he's lied about Epstein suggests he's lying about 9/11.
Yep.
And getting those two into a fusion of denunciation and calling him out and demanding our accountability and justice, whatever that could possibly look like, is definitely an exciting prospect. And then, so I just wanted to say that.
Well, let me add on to that. I would
yeah.
also say, more importantly than that, I believe in the fusion of people that should meet. Susie Bonham Craig really wants to get behind a campaign to get a FOIA request to put pressure on Howard Lutnick. And we happen to know 3 widows whose husbands died that worked at Cantor Fitzgerald, being Mindy Kleinberg, Lori Van Auken, and Patty Casaza. So you guys have the contact information for Patty Casaza. I'm not asking for that contact information, but that you could put these people in contact with each other, because that's a great avenue for the 9/11 Truth Movement to put pressure on Howard Lutnick through these 3 very powerful widows.
I'm sure Patricia Casaza would lend her name to a petition from the Jersey girls for a FOIA demand or something.
Excellent.
That seems pretty low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'll reach out for sure. Okay. Are you done with
other statement? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but I'm done.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. And then I just wanted to share, this guy says it in 30 seconds better than I can. One last thing on the, if you're searching the files, where'd it go? Drats. One of these. Oh, I took it off. I went to go search for Dusty Burke. Oh my goodness. It was right there. Here it is. 30 seconds. This is very interesting. Basically, you'll get... Oh, let's let him talk.
Let me know if you think they did this on purpose. So someone recently found out that if you go to the Epstein library on DOJ's website, and now instead of searching for something specific, you search for no images produced and hit search. It's going to show you thousands of PDF documents, and when you open them, it's just going to have this blank page that says no images produced. But if you go to the URL up top and remove the PDF part and then type in MP4 and hit enter, you'll find videos that I guess were labeled with the wrong file extension. For instance, here's an hour-long one of a jail cell camera with a whiteboard placed in front of it. And all the videos should be redacted, but I don't know what's all on there, so just keep that in mind.
So I did check it out. I found 3 or 4 videos, or actually more than that, like 10 or 12 videos. Some of them are a second long, but whoops, let me stop sharing. But there's all kinds of videos up there. Really hoping to find something pertinent to 9/11, but haven't so far.
Yeah, and you could just stumble across something. I mean, nobody can look at everything, so
yep. All right,
just shoot for it.
I think that's it for the Epstein files today. That was 45 minutes.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I mean, Trump oh, you're not screen sharing right now. When Trump spoke last week with Lutnick standing right by his side, kind of like chuckling to himself as Trump was saying exactly that, you know, he was such a bad father, you know, jokingly, that Lutnick had not brought his son to school in 5 years. And as Susie pointed out, this was kindergarten. So he makes mistakes, and he says that all the employees died, and that wasn't the case. So, and now I watched a video by Kim Iverson, and she's repeating these things. So we're going to encounter a lot of that now that these things are going, for lack of a better term, mainstream. A lot of errors are going to be made and wrong things said and shared. So just a reminder, if you catch those, just set the record straight, because these things can snowball and take on a life of their own. So
yeah, and we got Mikey with his hand up, who had an interaction with somebody else that worked for Marsh McLennan. Mikey, if you're there.
Was counter.
No, nope.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mike.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear
Okay.
us?
Yeah. Yeah, what that video you guys showed of that guy that looked like at the very start, he kind of looked like that guy from Anthrax, that band, but he's not the guy, but he looked just like him. You know who I'm talking about on the video there?
I don't, but Sandra might.
Yeah, what was that video you showed of the connections to Epstein and stuff? That lady brought it up.
Oh, maybe it was this guy. I don't know what the lead.
Yeah, that's the guy. He looks like the singer from Anthrax. But anyway, so what I was going to say was I've seen that guy's videos up and down Facebook and TikTok and stuff, and it's just kind of cool actually that he is like he has that big of a following, you know? And I think it's really neat, to be honest with you. I was thinking about this. I went to the grocery store a few minutes ago, and I was thinking about how cool it is that, like, you know, there are other people like us, and it's like not so like taboo to think like bring up words like Mossad and Israel connection. And I was watching the Mike Huckabee Tucker talk last night and stuff, and I was like, wow, like, you know, 2 years ago we never would have thought we'd be here, and like all sorts of people are talking about stuff that normally wouldn't be getting talked about, you know. I think that's pretty cool.
Yep.
We're also not getting censored as much as we used to, if you notice.
Yeah, that too.
I think Bret Weinstein said it best in this quote here. What we are witnessing is the wearing off of the blue pill. The matrix is becoming visible. It will soon be common knowledge, the default assumption. Unfortunately, that alone does not destroy its control. We will have to do that. Welcome to the Nebuchadnezzar. For anybody that watched The Matrix, that was a pretty good reference. But yeah, thank you, Mikey. People are waking up, and this is all making it a lot easier for people to wake up.
One more thing. I'm just gonna share this in the chat. You don't have to share this video if you don't want to, but this is a guy that I follow on Facebook because he makes he like 3D prints like vintage car parts and sells them. But what's cool about it is he started his business by obviously making custom car parts with a 3D printer, but he's a insanely good fabricator, like welding and grinding and all the stuff to make stuff. So once he got his following really big, he started like dumping, like talking about 9/11 being an inside job and all this stuff. So like it's really funny because like he did that after he got like a really big following.
I think I saw him, the guy that wears the aviator glasses.
That guy. Yep. Have you seen him?
Yes.
He's really good at what he does.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. He's great.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
Aye, aye.
And by what the Anthrax singer, I think you meant the guitarist, Scott Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. You're right. It was Scott Ian. My apologies.
All good. Other news items before you open up the tape. Jimmy Dore, he continues to wake up and just share information. It's old information, but it's great that he's bringing it to his audience's attention. Here he covers, did the tower's owner engineer 9/11 as for a $4 billion insurance scam. Of course, he's talking about Larry Silverstein and the $4.55 billion that he made from the terrorist insurance. So check out, it's a 20-minute video.
Isn't he the one who shared the caricature thing? That one, yeah.
Yeah, he also shared Timeline Junkies video.
Yeah, he miscredited it.
Miscredited it to somebody else, but it was from Timeline Junkies. So it's great to see Jimmy Dore still on board. It's fantastic. What else do I have here? A gentleman had approached Richard about some extra explosions that he's been hearing from videos.
A gentleman. He's a high school student.
Okay, thank you.
The attacks of September 11 tragically.
High school student in Germany who, for him, Not the free fall or anything. This is what got him intrigued, was the sounds of explosions that he looked into. We're going to try to get him on the call, but it's late in Germany, so maybe when the holidays come around, he'll start joining us. But he did an amazing job here.
And it's not from like the typical videos that we're used to. For instance, here's one sample. Whoops, wrong button. So he starts finding, like, you really got to scrub the videos to clear up the audio from the foreground knowledge, but foreground noise. And he can hear these booms going off, and he does it in a whole bunch of videos, a lot of which we hadn't heard, even this one where Chief Pfeiffer in the lobby.
Right. Videos that we're familiar with in part.
Yes. And just fantastic. He did one on buildings 1 and 2, and he did a second video on building 7 and some of the explosions. One most prominently is the Baikovsky video right before the penthouse that we covered. But it's great. It's great to see high school students interested in this and dissecting it on a deeper level. So hats off to him. You can find him as Twissy, Twisi. I don't know what German that's for.
That's not German.
Okay. But he's on YouTube. We'll share that in the show notes.
Maybe Richard wants to add something because he's the one who communicated with him initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name
send
is
him $50.
maybe. His name is Tristan, and he is now working on, because I said, gosh, it'd be great to know the time at which those explosions occur.
Mm-hmm.
So he's working on that now.
Excellent.
Amazing.
The first video is about 12 minutes on buildings 1 and 2, and the one on 7 is about 5 minutes. But I'm sure he's looking over more and more videos as time goes on. So.
Yeah, and in reply to Susie, it was Gene's offer to any high school student to use the tracker that David Chandler created to measure the free fall of 7. So I did mention that to him in an email.
Nice.
Oh, good. Good.
So
Great.
again, if anybody knows any high school kids that want to make $50, the first 3, I still haven't anybody take the offer yet. But if they go to David Chandler's website, 911speakout.org/physics-lab, you can download this free software, and basically you plot building 7. And if the high school student sends me the tracker file that they produce, and it shows free fall, I'll give them $50.
Yeah, I had to ask Gene if it applied to European students, and he said, yes.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah. And it's all free. The kit's free. The instructions there, everything's all free. You just got to do the lab.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. What else we got left in the news? Crime Scene to Courtroom, episodes 1 through 5 are all available on the website, 911c2c.org, where Richard gets into it in more detail, I believe, than what was in 9/11 explosive evidence, experts speak out, and also the mystery of Building 7 with Ed Asner. So he really gets into it. And again, for those that don't know, you are, as a jury member, being presented this evidence and asked how you would assimilate this information. So
was episode 6 on foreknowledge?
It is.
And also the destruction of evidence.
Okay.
We're looking forward to episode 6 coming out sometime soon. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
Boston 9/11 Truth had Kevin Barrett. We weren't able to make it, but it was at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is not a normal time because he's over in some other land.
Morocco.
Thank you. So, Sue, if you want to give an update on how that interview went.
Mixed.
Okay.
Very mixed. He was
mixed.
excellent. Yeah, he was excellent, but he lumped Jews and Zionists together, and which really rankled me. And I've had to put a disclaimer on our publication on this because of that. We have many Jewish people, or either in faith or background, who are 9/11 truthers. And I don't like seeing them slammed like that.
Mm-hmm.
He said that the Jews, he didn't say the Zionists, he said the Jews believe that the Goyim, meaning all non-Jews, don't have souls and should be treated no better than cattle. And I challenged him on the Q&A. I said, where do you get that? Is it in the scripture? Is it in the Torah? Is it in the Talmud? And he just said it was in the scripture. He failed to quote where he's getting that. So I was a little rankled by that.
Before we get to the positives of it, I do want to point anybody that wants to, if you get into that where it starts becoming about the Jews. One person that spoke about that subject often, I want to show how you could bring this up if you ever need this reference. Christopher Bolin wrote Solving 9/11. If you go to his page and you search his page for Jews, the first thing that pops up is about a flyer that went out a long time ago where they spoke about the Jews, blah, 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 9/11. Are the Jews responsible for 9/11? His clarification here is so perfect, and I want to read it again. I've read it 5 times, I swear, but I just love it. He says here, this is Chris Bolin, the problem is the use of the word Jews. It's simply too broad of a term in that it implicates a whole ethnic group in the crimes of 9/11. Because of this flaw, the flyer can rightfully be criticized as being anti-Semitic. A more specific term should have been used, such as, quote, Israeli intelligence or, quote, a cabal of Zionist terrorists, which are terms that do not implicate a whole ethnic group for the crimes of a subset of that group. That would have made a better flyer, and most importantly, one that is supported by the facts, and which could not be criticized as being anti-Semitic. I'm like, that is fantastic that Christopher Bolin said that. So I just want to make that clarification.
I agree.
And I don't know if it was Marty Schatz who said it or somebody else where I read it that said, well, if Jews don't have a soul, if somebody converts, if non-Jews don't have a soul, if someone converts to Judaism, do they suddenly get a soul?
Yeah. And he also, it was Marty Schatz. He also commented that blaming the Jews for 9/11 exonerates the CIA and their part in this. Yeah.
So, what are some good things that
it's a
happened?
good point. Well, really, his geopolitical analysis was excellent. I do recommend it. It was just that portion that really rankled me. Just very, it's available on YouTube and Rumble and our website. And it wasn't as long as our others. So that was the other nice thing about it. He only spoke for about 40 minutes and the Q&A was about another 20 minutes. So we didn't get into 2 or 3 hours, which was really nice. And he's definitely
the Mossad and the CIA and the MI6 are connected at the hip.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Sue, any last things before I go to the hands that are probably going to talk about that?
No, I guess I'll cover, when we go around the table.
Yep. 10-4. Thank you very much for that. Mike Zarzano.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if anyone thinks it's terrible that someone is claiming, as Kevin, that the Talmud likens Goyim to cattle, that's nothing. That's actually very light. There are so many terrible things in the Talmud. For example, they state in the Talmud that Mother Mary and Jesus are burning in excrement and urine, boiling, it says.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could go on and on.
Yeah, but he said the Jews, and there are many sects of Jews, just as there are many sects of Protestants and Christians. And some follow the Talmud, some follow the Torah. The Talmud is more recent than the Torah. Some follow both.
Yep.
Well,
So
that
to
his
put them
statement.
all in this, put them all in the same bucket is hurtful to our movement.
Well, the Talmud is a Jewish document, and
It is a Jewish document. There are several
that's what I
Protestant
said.
Yeah.
It is not
Yep.
a Jewish
I
document.
said
not-
a Jewish document.
Right. And there are
Well, why
other,
are you why
there-
are you
there
attempting to
are
correct
other-
me? What
there-
are you correcting?
Okay.
We're just
making
trying
a
to be
point.
clear here, okay?
Yeah, and I said
I'm making.
Okay, guys.
Excuse me. Let me respond.
Well, I was speaking actually.
Okay. Finish your sentence, and I will respond.
Yeah, I said for the third time it was a Jewish document. There was no correction needed. I yield.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Well, you're saying the Talmud. He did not say the Talmud. He actually failed to cite what document it was. And a document doesn't mean the creed of a whole peoples.
Yes. All right. That's made
So-
clear. We're good. We're done with that topic. I'm going to move on. Jack
I have
Bottomley, go
quite a
ahead.
few things to offer here.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get into that anymore. Like, it's going down a trail that I don't really care to continue down. But
That's
thank
fine.
you, everybody, for that.
That's fine. You're welcome.
Thanks. Jack Bottomley, go ahead.
Sorry, the problem with my button. Having been married to a Khazar Jew, and things were revealed to me that I just never would have known as an average American. For example, I was riding with another Khazar Jew through Cambridge in a car, and he was telling me things, and I said, "Oh, those things are all in violation of the Ten Commandments." And he said, "Oh, no, we don't believe in the Ten Commandments. We believe in the Talmud. We don't believe in the Ten Commandments." And so that's a very interesting distinction. And if you notice that a lot of these rabbis who are speaking out, they say, "We are Torah following Jews," and the average American, that goes right over their head. Torah, Talmud, all the same thing, blah, blah. It isn't the same thing. Right. And another mistake people are making is they're saying the Ashkenazis and the Khazars are different.
Yes.
They are the same thing.
Yes.
Khazars are a certain racial group that had a kingdom in the area of Ukraine, and the Ashkenazis test out as 3/4 German and 1/4 Iranian.
Yep.
So they're just Persian. So they're completely different groups.
Eastern
and
European.
different books, but Americans don't seem to understand that.
Real quick, because being a Christian, everybody should know this. Like, the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. So when they're saying they're Torah Jews, they're just Jews that follow the books of the law of the Bible, the first 5 books.
The Old Testament.
The Old Testament. So Talmud Jews, Talmud was basically rabbinic writings that happened after the Old Testament was written. Basically, they surmised what they thought was the meaning of the Old Testament, and they added to Scripture, which actually in Scripture it says you shall not add to or take away from Scripture. So they were they're actually breaking God's commands there by adding to. So the Talmud is extra biblical. The Torah is biblical.
Okay.
Very good.
That's what we need to say.
Yeah, I was starting to rattle her. All right. Table's open. Anybody else have any new 9/11 related news for the group? Magnus, go ahead.
We can't hear you, Magnus.
Something's up with your phone.
You're not shown as muted. We're seeing your lips move, but we can't hear you.
You keep on talking, but you can't come in.
Nope.
Keep on knocking, but you can't come in. Keep on knocking, but you can't come in. Keep on knocking, but you can't come in. Come back tomorrow night and try again.
We can't hear you now.
I'll start playing the videos, though. First one you have is at 2 minutes, 25 seconds. 2 minutes and 25 seconds. That's pretty much the end, so I imagine we're just playing it to the end. Here we go. What he's showing is on the left was thermite being used to take down, I forget what that structure was.
The Reichstag.
The Reichstag, yes. And you can see the thermite burning through the metal, and it... Oh, he did have it queued up. I went too early. It's getting there. It's getting there. Burning. It's looping. And this is just normal thermite. This isn't even nano thermite. But, yep, there it went. There was that one. And then here is sulfur. He labeled sulfur. I'm not sure what this is. With your hand, since I can't hear you, or type it in the chat, where might I start? From the beginning, middle, end?
Sulfur is
Oh, we'll just play
sulfur. Inert calcium sulfate is what's gypsum wallboard, and it's never turned around and attacked the steel that it's designed to protect, in fact, for the last 100 years or so. Besides, you can do an experiment. Try to get the hottest office fires you possibly can on a steel beam. Put a broken up gypsum board in there. See if you can get hot sulfur corrosion attack. No, you can't. Experiment is the arbiter of competing hypotheses. NIST did no.
Which is excellent. This is from John Cole's Backyard Experiments, where John Cole is very popularly known as conducting these experiments in his backyard to prove just simple physics. And here, I guess he had burned a beam for some length of time and even added sulfur or gypsum to it, and it still didn't cause the pictures we saw, like of John Gross standing beside something that clearly underwent a sulfur attack on steel. Thank you, Magnus, for that one. And last one, I'm guessing what you would say, so I hope I'm doing a good job. All right, I get the thumbs up. And the last one is WTC. This one's 227. I don't want to play the whole thing. Do you know where I'm going, like beginning, middle, end?
He said beginning, right from the start.
Right from the start.
Only a thermite reaction could have made them. But official investigators say these spheres could have been formed in the fires in the rubble after the collapse of the buildings. Debris can trap heat and lead to long-lasting and very hot fires. They also say that the ingredients found in thermite are not unusual.
Iron oxide and aluminum are very common materials. They are used extensively in buildings. So the fact that aluminum and iron combine together in a chemical reaction under heat is not at all surprising.
I just got to add that argument is like saying if you stick an egg, oil, water, and cake mix in a bowl and just set it in the oven, out will come this cake that's beautifully put together. It's just ludicrous to think that all that needs to undergo what is done chemically with thermite reaction happened with, aluminum cladding and steel and gypsum. It's not going to happen. So, thank you, Magnus. Appreciate you. All right. Anybody else new 9/11 news for this week? All right. Well, let's go around the room then. I appreciate it being short because today was a busy day for us. Sue, we'll start off with you with Boston. I know you've got Sander Hicks coming up March 5th.
That's correct.
Anybody
and that's
else?
all we.
No.
Nope, that's all we got so far. I'm going to Scotland on the 17th and returning in April. So hopefully I'll have some people lined up by the time I return. We'll find out.
Safe travels on that. Again, that's not this Thursday, but next Thursday at 6:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We'll stick with Boston right now. Is Al on? Al, anything for the group?
Not really. I'll be out of town myself in Turk and Caicos next week, and I'll do 9/11 research while I'm at the beach.
Nice. Get out of that 1 foot of snow that you guys have up there, I think.
2 feet. 2 feet.
2 feet. Oh my. All right. And also in Boston, Sweet Jane, anything for the group?
Oh, thank you. But no, I'm good.
All righty. I think that was all the Boston people. We'll start
I
going
just
back.
wanted to say that they're predicting 31 inches here in Worcester.
Oh my.
Yeah. Just hunkering down.
Yep. Let's go to Hawaii. John Olson, anything for the group? He's not in Hawaii. Is he Boston?
Okay, yeah, no, I'm back in Maine. I got back
Maine.
about the beginning of March, but so I'm up here in Maine, and we're bracing. We've already got about 15 inches of snow on the ground, and we're probably going to get another foot over the next 36 hours. But I listened to Scott Ritter earlier today, a long interview, and he said the decision's already been made to go in, and it's a very, very ominous right now.
Yes.
Any hour we may start the big war, and it won't be just a strike. It's a big deal. So I'm very worried about that.
I did hear the chances are, like the decision was made Monday that it's going to happen. So yeah, I don't know.
He said the decision would have been made weeks ago to get all this equipment there, the expense and the logistics. He said it would have been done weeks ago.
Wow.
It's like it was for Iraq as well. But Scott's going to also be on with Gloria and Jeremy on uncontrolled opposition on the 5th of March, assuming we have a 5th of March.
Right. Thank you, sir. Glad you got home. Maine, too cold.
Yeah, good time.
Let's go down to Florida. Mike Starzano, anything for the group?
Well, before I do, I want to ask a question. On Boston 9/11, when Barbara Honegger was there last, she made the statement that April Gallup had seen airplane parts in the Pentagon prior to 9/11, months prior to 9/11. And I have emailed Susan and Barbara, and Susan doesn't have the information, but Barbara is not responding to that inquiry after 3 attempts. And I was wondering if anyone else has knowledge of that evidence that she cites regarding April Gallup seeing airplane parts inside the Pentagon months before 9/11.
Give a second for anybody to respond. I don't remember that. I'm trying to think during the Cooper Union meeting when she gave us, or Bill Veal spoke for her. I don't remember him saying anything. I don't remember anything.
She definitely said it.
Oh, wow.
Are you looking for I don't know, a video or a document or something that confirms that, or you just wanted to
Yeah, when she was on Boston 9/11, I was involved during the Q&A, and I asked her, Barbara, could you play this for us now? And Susan said there wasn't enough time, but that she would email it to me. And I've asked 3 times, and it's I don't know. There's no response from Barbara.
Barbara's not going to respond. She will be the first one to tell. She's always happy to say that she gets 500 emails per day, and that if somebody really wants her to read an email, somebody has to call her or text her first. So if you would like, I'll reach out to her and ask her for that information.
Well, Xander agreed with my request and even made a secondary request to Barbara for the same content. And so, yeah, I would appreciate your help.
Sure, I can try.
There is a video, according to Barbara.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Hang on. I was just looking because I found a video. Let me just real quick while we got everybody. Parts. April Gallup found it. There was one where she mentioned a silver part that she saw. Where'd it go? Part. It was
What about plane?
It was right. Hang on. Where is it? Particular. Oh, where was it? I just saw it. I'm wasting too much time here on particular. There it is. Let's just see what she says here real quick.
Say that I saw a silver piece of a plane part. I didn't see any of that. And that's the only thing that I really feel like I can attest to, because those are things that I didn't see. was just trying to stop cars to get us to the hospital. But while I was on the lawn, I can't say that I saw a silver piece of a plane part. I didn't see any of that. And
That's all she said there. If anybody finds any more information for that, get to Mike Zarzano or us. We'll get it to Mike.
So
Thank you, Mike.
she just said she didn't see plane parts, is what's
On the lawn.
represented in this
On the
video.
lawn after the event. I think Mike is saying that she saw them before the event.
Yeah, that's something
Yeah,
different.
Chuck, you're mistaken. I'm referring to months prior, as I stated 3 times. Months prior to 9/11 was the quote of Barbara.
Yep.
But Barbara is saying that person that we just saw months before said, I saw plane parts in the Pentagon, inside the corridor, which is a very odd thing for anyone to say. And it sounds like
the implication was they were being staged. That was the implication.
I understand. So she's correcting the record relative to what you're saying. Barbara said.
No,
Chuck, you're mistaken.
All right, let's move on.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. Listen to it again, you'll get it. Mike, was there any else you wanted for the group going around?
Yeah, just join us Tuesday night, Tap Talk, 8 p.m. Sign up at the website and look forward to it.
Thank you, Mike. And we'll just stick with Tap. Chuck, anything for the group?
Nothing for the group. Peace out, everyone. James Roguski will be the guest. He's actually a skeptic of conspiracy theories around chemtrails and believes that what we're witnessing is the consequence of all the jet and rocket and all that technological activity. So it'll be a revisionist perspective. All right. See you guys. Have a great week.
You too, Chuck. Thanks. And still was sticking with Florida. Trina, anything for the group?
Hey guys, sorry I came in late. Short call. I got in on at 6 and hearing they're gonna stop. I'm like, oh, I missed the whole thing.
Oh, it's not over. This could go on another hour. You have no
Oh.
idea.
I thought you were going around the room.
Yeah,
It was
we are
concluding.
We are, but the room can take an hour sometimes.
Hopefully not.
But anyway, just checking in. I guess I'll go back and listen to last week's replay so I get my fix. Just like being with you guys and hearing what's going on and staying plugged in as much as I can.
Thanks.
I'm not going to complain about the weather. I went outside for a walk with Charlie and, kind of impromptu, like tuning in here, and I have a windbreaker on. It's chilly. I have my shorts on and it's 63, but it feels like 54. I didn't know it was this chilly out, but I'm not going to complain when Susan's getting 30 inches of snow. My gosh.
All right.
Everybody take care.
Good to hear from you.
You too, Trina.
Take care.
Thank you, guys.
I don't know if anybody else is in Florida. I just got to go around. Jack, anything for the group?
Yes, there was 2 very important videos this week, and I'll premise them by the fact that some people who are close to Trump say he's losing it and he's not remembering names of even relatives. And the people running his office are Stephen Miller and Sebastian Gorka and several others. Now, there was a meeting of pretty much, I would say, Zionists talking about how they're going to crack down on anti-Semitism and they're going to use AI and all this modern technology. And then the second video is that 29 sites for these 1 million square foot buildings to hold ICE people are being built or set up around the country, and I have that video too, which I'll send to anyone. I'll give my email at the end of this. And we had ICE on our property a couple of weeks ago when they came when I wasn't here, and they were banging on the doors, and they opened the door of my truck, and they were all marching around. And we live in a very rural area on a dirt road in a farm, and that's been happening a lot around New Hampshire. So it seems like they may be able to crack down on people for speaking out about 9/11 and things like that. So I think we need to get a little quicker about reaching out to the public and not argue about a plane at the Pentagon or what those little things. We need to reach out to the public while we can, because we may be outlawed.
Well,
And
if we disappear-
my email address is Jack, JACK dot Wind, WINDELECTRIC at gmail.com. Jack.windelectric@gmail.com. Thanks.
Thank you, Jack. If we disappear one day, you'll know. They got us. Oh, well.
Right.
Brian, anything for the group? If you're there. He's blocking his camera. I can't even see if he's giving me a thumbs up. We'll come back. JB, anything for the group? Not hearing anything from JB.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Magnus, I don't know if you're... Try saying something.
Can you hear me, Jim?
Yeah, there we go. Anything for the group?
Well, hey. Yeah, I want to say that was a very great news, Gene, and I wanted to say that it's very crazy that they are mixing Jews and Zionists and Mossad and all this stuff. I think it's very crazy stuff, Gene, and thank you for all that, and keep up the great work. But the videos I actually shared was very important there, so I want to share the last part next week, because that's when the guy says he have never seen a structure being taken down by iron sulfur, and says it's a wild fantasy. And then Richard Gage says at the end that he is paid by the government and can lose his job if he supports the controlled demolition. So he's a paid guy in that documentary to say that it's not a controlled demolition.
Yep. Thank you. Upton Sinclair's famous quote is, it's amazing what people won't talk about it. I'm paraphrasing. It's amazing how people won't talk about things when their salary depends on it. So yeah.
Is Raul Angulo on this call?
I do not see him. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead if you want to say something to him.
Oh yeah, the fire technology has a newspaper from, it's an article from 2024, because London and Hong Kong did a World Trade Center study from 2020 to 2022 and said we need further investigation. All we know is that it's the fuel oil tank on the 5th and 7th floor that caused the building to collapse. Hydrocarbon fire. And they spent 4 years onto that report, and that it's a very terrible report. So I just wanted to let Raul Angulo know that the fire technology has an article from that study.
We'll look that up. Is that in the chat?
I can send it to him if it's
Yes.
great.
Yes, please do. Yeah. Thank you. Good to see you,
have a great
Magnus.
week, everybody.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
David Campbell, anything for the group? Oh, he froze up and he's on mute. David, can you hear me? All right, we'll move on. Richard, anything for the group, sir?
Nothing I can think of. Any
Thank you.
questions?
Oh, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
We're good.
Oh, how are things going with getting the letter together?
Letter. What letter? PSI?
Document?
PSI, yes.
It's a little bit more than a letter.
Okay, yes.
It's going well.
Okay, good.
We're under control.
Right on. Susie, anything for the group?
David's back.
Oh, David's back. Hang on, Susie. David, anything for the group?
Yeah, coming through now.
Yes.
Good. Sorry for that. Might have already been mentioned, and I'm not sure if there's substance to it, but I heard or saw something this week regarding the latest Epstein dump and Ghislaine Maxwell that related to a 9/11 committee. Maybe she might have participated in. Do you know if there's substance to that? Something or other?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little, but I got it. We did talk about it the last several war rooms, but Richard, we covered where he mentions it also about being invited to a shadow 9/11 commission. Just my takeaway, Ed Epstein was an investigative reporter. He had a website where he was searching for people to give feedback with his secret 9/11 commission. I don't know whether it was a legit shadow 9/11 commission or it was just him doing investigative reporting, reaching out to people, trying to get feedback from them. But the question remains, why Ghislaine Maxwell of all people would you ask? So yeah, it is sus.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'll keep looking into it. Thank you.
Thank you. Back to Susie. Anything for the group, Susie?
Oh, I just want to thank you for sharing that stuff, all that work that I put in, and there's so much more I'm looking at. And just a message to Chuck. I'm in the process of compiling a bunch of questions to possibly develop a flyer or some kind of correspondence to the families for the anniversary. And so if there's a way to get in touch with I don't even remember their names. Costanza, is that who we're talking about?
Patty Casaza, yes.
Casaza, yeah. I know it's a sensitive topic because from what I understand, they don't feel that he is guilty of anything, really. Is that the truth?
Oh no, they definitely don't like him.
Oh, they don't like him. So yeah, just that I can put together some kind of an outline where I can discuss with them what we're looking to do, and in light of all the stuff that's coming to light about this, you know, whether they would consider going forward.
That would be great.
You know.
If you could put an email together and we'll get it to Chuck and Mike, and I'm sure they could get it to her, and we could go that route.
Oh, okay. Well, I was okay. As long as we have a contact. Also, I wanted to bring up the fact Richard stated last week that he really hasn't gotten a lot of feedback from his
crime scene to courtroom. Yep.
Yeah, the crime scene to courtroom episodes, is that we all just go in and, you know, put a positive note in there or something that can encourage or further ask questions or whatever, but just to be able to post something there so it gets a little bit more credibility and some lift.
That's a great idea. So again, I'll just reiterate for people, that's our homework for the week. Go to 911c2c.org. Click on that, go to one of the episodes. And if you can leave a comment somewhere, please do. And it just helps it be seen with the algorithms. So I'm sure Richard greatly appreciates that. Thank you, Susie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Susie. Thanks, Gene.
Yep. I was going to go to Larry Hanlon, the lookalike for Ray McGovern, but he dropped off. Let's go to Captain Raul Angulo, Captain Emeritus. Anything for the group, Raul? If you're there. Or he's just tuning in. I guess he's just tuning in. All right, let's go. Joshua Schoenfeld. Anything for the group, sir?
Have a great week, everybody.
Excellent. And Diana just joined, but we're wrapping up. So, Diana, anything for the
Oh, I'm on Mexico time. I want you to know I'm stuck in Puerto Vallarta. Did you hear about the
That's
gang
rough.
wars? No, there's gang. The ones stuck in hotels. They're burning
Yeah.
cars, and there's military in the street. And I can't go out, so I have a hotel that the airline gave me. But you can't go to the beach, you can't do anything. Just gotta stay in the hotel at the pool. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah,
True wild ending to Anarchapulco, huh?
exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah, I didn't realize I'm an hour behind. I thought you were just starting. Huh?
No.
Oh, well, at least I got to say hi. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, be careful out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a flight to. I was able to. All the flights are booked. Like for tomorrow, I don't know if the airport opens, but if it does open, even then the flights are all booked to everywhere. Except I happened to get a flight to Colorado Springs. But I just want to be in the United States because I need to work.
No kidding.
Yeah, and not just that. I need to work, and I can't work from Mexico. I'm not allowed to work from Mexico.
Jeez.
So John Olson was asking where you're at. She just finished up being at the Anarchapulco in Puerto Vallarta, and she's stuck there. So
yeah, it was a great conference. Learned so many things. Met really interesting people. It was great, fantastic. But yeah, getting stuck at that. But the good thing is we haven't attacked Iran this weekend, which is a good sign, right? Usually they do that on the weekends.
Be
So
careful.
Maybe he decided to attack the cartel in Mexico because I think this had does something to do with Trump instead.
Be safe. Safe travels home.
Thank you.
I think I got everybody in the room. Anybody didn't get a chance? All right, Sandra, anything for the group?
Just to Magnus, I just sent the link to Raul in case he didn't catch it. And to Chuck, if he's still there, I put the link to the 9/11 War Room that had Dusty Burke in the chat. So you can find it there.
All right. For those that are praying people, just pray that we're not going to war in the
Yes.
next 12 to 24 hours with Iran. And hopefully have a good evening and a great week. And we'll talk next time.
Have a good week.
Great week.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.